I love having you here. Hey, congrats, by the way, on the new logo here.
Thank you so much.
Look at this right there. That's
Clean. Yes. Yeah, we wanted to go with, I mean, ever since, Fortnite when we blew up, and even when I was younger, I loved doing my hair, like, a little bit different. Bangs down and the rest up.
It's perfect.
So, yeah, we wanted something a little cleaner, a little more professional, and, dude, yeah, there it is, man.
Last time you were on our show, you said, hey, look for me on the big screen and the small screen. I was like, okay. You didn't tell me what it was, but there you are in Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. I go, there you go. That's a big screen right there.
One of my man crushes, man. I mean, dude, what a stud. You know what I mean? I mean,
wow.
bro. Like,
really?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember we went to film and he walked across the street because they were able to close down an entire street of an actual city to film what we were there for. And he like pointed at me and like just started walking across and like gave me and Jess a huge hug.
And you're like, that's Ryan Reynolds.
I was,
oh my God!
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
He's like, thank you so much for doing this and for being in this film. And I was just like,
did they want you to act from the beginning, or did they want like help on like, hey, teach us how to do it?
They wanted. It was more so they wanted me to be in it, and like I'm telling you, I read the script, I was a part of it, and I was like, you guys don't really need help with the lingo and everything like that. They kind of nailed it.
You did.
Yeah, the gaming culture was phenomenal.
I asked you for advice for.
You never take it though.
No, but I did take it. I didn't do anything with it.
Right.
But I took your advice, and I have all the things. I have the headset, and you hooked me up. Yeah. I'm kind of at home. I'm set up and ready to go.
Are you just like the best at everything now?
No, I'm terrible at everything. I'm still bad. I'm still bad at everything, but I'm
okay.
like, I wanted to pick one thing and get good at it, and then I just can't do that. I just play everything poorly. But I have fun.
Well, that's all that matters. You know what I mean?
It's not.
But dude,
you're a pro gamer. You crush me at everything.
Low key, it's all that matters. I mean, listen, I still get super frustrated when Jess and my brothers beat me at Mario Kart and like Mario Party.
Oh, Mario Party! No.
Do you get any of the random stars? You know what I'm talking about at the end? The random star. Oh, you traveled the least amount of spaces. Here's a star.
Yeah. No.
How does that work?
No.
You can't practice for that, Jimmy.
Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, I thought you were talking about when people steal your stars.
Oh, when people steal your stars, I mean, that's like.
We're not friends anymore.
I mean, we're talking, we're going to.
What a great game. What a great game that is.
It's more frustrating than anything, to be clear.
Really?
I think
it's a fantastic game.
I'm pretty sure I end every night more upset after I played Mario Party with friends than happy.
No, that is not true.
Absolutely.
No, you're psyched.
You're stealing stars. You're sucking coins, man. You're you know what I mean? It's awful.
You're very young. I was going to ask you, did you ever like wait in line for like a console or a game? Like, cause I had to do that.
My parents would not let me stay out for the Halo 3 release, for like the Xbox 360. Halo 3, Tyler. I was like 14. I was too young, obviously. Midnight release. Because remember, you remember midnight releases.
Of course I remember midnight
I feel like they don't happen anymore. It's just.
But you were too young, and they go, no, you're not, Tyler, you're not getting it.
So I'm 14, John's 18. He goes and he stays out all night and gets the midnight release copy. I'm staying up in my bed, just like waiting for him to come upstairs and
with it.
And with the game and be like, Tyler, we're playing.
Yes.
Because that was the whole plan, the whole strategy. My mom was like, Tyler, you're not going. And then John and I are like, all right, dude, like, let me tell you what's gonna happen. Like,
right,
you're gonna wake me up at midnight.
Yes, you're playing games.
And we're gonna play the game. Yeah. We stayed up till 3 a.m. and we won every team doubles game that we played.
And so you're playing the game, and then you go like, oh, I think I could probably make a living off of this. and how do you tell your mom who just said you can't go out to the mall? You're like, Mom, this is my future. I'm building a future for our family right now.
Yeah, listen, Mom. Oh, man.
You're a very cool mom.
That story is phenomenal. It was simple, money talks, right? And
so you started making money.
Yeah. So once I started streaming, that was where I started making like a proper living, and I started making. I think when I started, it was like $20,000 was the projected sales. And I finally, started making, I think, like anywhere from like 30 to 40,000, and I was also going to college full time and working a job at Noodles and Company, and I told, listen,
Wow, Noodles and Company.
Phenomenal food, actually. Hashtag not an ad, but seriously, I worked there for 3 years, and all of my focus was, no relationships really, never really hung out with my friends either. It was either I was streaming, going to school, or working, and finally I was like, Mom, listen, if I make more than minimum wage, I'm gonna pursue this, right? I'm gonna go full time, right? Because I'm only doing.
But what if you don't make enough money?
I told her immediately. I made a promise with both my wife Jess and my mom. I was like, and my brothers and pretty
much. Girlfriend Jess at the time.
Girlfriend Jess at the time. Yeah. because she was also super skeptical of like just the longevity of the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like you don't know. I wasn't making millions.
This is not an occupation.
100%. It was
that
not.
we grew up
it was,
with.
Yeah, it was like a free agency is what it felt like. Like I mean, and it could have just collapsed at any moment. And I made a vow. I was like, I will go back to college if I ever, start making less than what I was making when I started.
You're doing a thing. You're having people take timeouts off their screens. Can you explain what you're doing?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So dude, I've been gaming and had a screen in front of my face, honestly, as long as I can remember. Not like iPads, because those didn't exist when I was a kid, but I gamed so much, and when I streamed and when I was grinding at the time, I was doing like 18-hour days. How long I would stream for.
Jeez.
Dude. And I wish older me would have been able to tell younger me, you could take a day off, or even an hour off, and just relax, spend time with family, and just kind of, again, take time out of the screen and of gaming, and that's what I've been doing a lot now. And
Who are you partnering with?
Oh, dude, we partner with Thrive Global and the Center for Scholars and Storytellers, and we have, we're just preaching, to again take time out. So for me personally, one of my two favorite things that I love to do, I'm going on daily walks, whether it be at the gym or after. And just, pet time. I have 3 amazing, beautiful dogs. Dude, we love them so much.
Yeah.
And
dude, I know you're on the incline, 3.5.
3.5, man. 3.5, 8-degree inclines where we're starting.
That's a man right there. That's Tyler Ninja Blevins. That's all you're going to see, buddy. Hey, hey.